I will start my reading practice from the book Clear Thinking by Shane Parrish. I start with chapter 3.2, Protecting Yourself with Safeguards. There are many inbuilt biological vulnerabilities that can impede good judgment, sleep deprivation, hunger, fatigue, emotion, distraction, stress from feeling rushed, and being in an unfamiliar environment are just some examples. We can't avoid finding ourselves in these conditions from time to time, but we can implement safeguards to protect us from our defaults when we are. Safeguards are tools for protecting ourselves from weaknesses that we don't have the strength to overcome. Here is a simple example. Suppose you want to start eating a healthier diet. You make this task exponentially harder on yourself if you inhabit an unhealthy environment. If, say, your pantry and fridge are full of junk food, purging your home of all junk food is safeguard. It protects you against impulsively ripping open a bag of potato chips when you are feeling hungry or bored. Of course, you can still go to the store and buy chips, but that's a lot of work. You have to think, plan, and act. In the time it takes you to do all that, you might think better of your options and choose to eat something more in line with your health goals. Purging your home of all junk food is an example of one safeguarding strategy. Increasing the amount of friction required to do something that is contrary to your long term goals. There are lots of safeguard strategies though. My favorites include prevention, creating rules for yourself, making checklists, shifting your frame of reference, and making the invisible visible. Let's talk about each strategy. Safeguard strategy 1 is prevention. The first kind of safeguard aims at preventing problems before they happen. One way to do this is to avoid decision making in unfavorable conditions. Stress, for instance, is a big contributor to bad decisions. Some studies have shown that stress short circuits the deliberation process. It undermines the systematic evaluation of alternatives that is needed for effective decision making. Alcoholics Anonymous has a helpful safeguard for its members. They call it HALT, an acronym that stands for hungry, angry, lonely, and tired. When you feel like having a drink, they say ask yourself whether any of these conditions apply. If so, deal with the real problem hunger, anger, loneliness, or fatigue instead of reaching for a drink. You can use the principles behind HALT as a safeguard for decision making in general. If you have an important decision to make, ask yourself, am I hungry? Am I angry or otherwise emotional? Am I lonely or otherwise stressed by my circumstances, such as being in an unfamiliar environment or pressed for time? Am I tired, sleep deprived, or physically fatigued? If the answer is yes to these questions, avoid making the decision if you can. Wait for a more opportune time. Otherwise, your defaults will take over. Safeguard strategy 2, automatic rules for success. Reactive choices are automatic response to a stimulus. Most of these responses are below the level of consciousness. We are not even aware of them. Sometimes we are able to slow down enough to override our ingrained responses, but this requires a lot of conscious effort on our part. Fortunately, there is an easier way: creating new behaviors. that help you get what you want. Think of them as automatic rules for success. Nothing forces you to accept the ingrained behaviors and rules from your upbringing and life circumstances. You can decide to eliminate them at any time and replace them with no better ones. In my conversation with Nobel laureate Daniel Kahneman, the godfather of cognitive biases and thinking errors, he revealed an unexpected way we can improve our judgment replacing decisions with rules. It turns out that rules can help us automate our behavior to put us in a position to achieve success and accomplish our goals. Thank you. That's it for the day.